They said it couldn't be done. That electrifying a Rolls-Royce would be like silencing a symphony, like dimming the stars, like taking the soul from something that's been alive for over a century. The purists called it madness. The skeptics called it impossible. But what they didn't understand is that true luxury never fears evolution. It commands it. Standing before you now is not just another electric vehicle in a sea of pretenders. This is the Rolls-Royce Spectre, and it has just rewritten the entire definition of what an automobile can be. This is the moment history splits in two. Everything that came before, and everything that will follow in its wake. The Spectre isn't simply Rolls-Royce's first electric vehicle. It's the fulfillment of a prophecy written over 100 years ago, when Charles Rolls himself predicted that electric power would be the perfect companion to a Rolls-Royce motorcar. He spoke those words in 1900 and nothing, long before the world was ready to listen, long before the technology could match the vision. But Rolls-Royce has never been about following trends. They create them, they define them, and then they transcend them entirely. The Spectre represents 25 million hours of testing, development, and refinement. It's been pushed to the absolute limits across 500,000 kilometers of the most punishing terrain on Earth. From the frozen silence of the Arctic Circle to the scorching deserts where lesser machines surrender. And through it all, one truth remained constant. This machine was engineered not just to meet the standards of Rolls-Royce, but to surpass them. Walk around the Spectre and you'll notice something remarkable. This is a car that seems to shift and change depending on where you're standing, how the light touches its surface, how the shadows play across its coachwork. The designers call it a visual symphony, and they're not exaggerating. The front grille, the widest ever fitted to a Rolls-Royce, stands like a gleaming portal, illuminated and commanding attention without ever demanding it. 22 LED lights bring it to life, creating an ethereal glow that announces your arrival long before the silence of its electric motors reaches anyone's ears. The spirit of ecstasy, that iconic figurehead, has been reimagined for the electric age. She's now more aerodynamic, more streamlined, but no less majestic. She still leads the way, cutting through the air with grace and purpose, reminding everyone who sees her that greatness never compromises. The fastback silhouette of the Spectre is unlike anything Rolls-Royce has created before. It's bold, it's daring, it's unmistakably contemporary while remaining timelessly elegant. The roofline sweeps back in one continuous arc, creating a profile that's both athletic and aristocratic. The doors, coach style of course, open with that satisfying mechanical precision that reminds you this isn't just engineering, it's craftsmanship. And when you look at the side profile, you see those impossibly large 23-inch wheels. Bespoke designed for this vehicle alone, filling the arches perfectly, giving the Spectre a planted, purposeful stance. The paint, whether you choose a subtle classic or something more adventurous, appears to have depth, layers, complexity. It's not just color. It's liquid metal captured in time, reflecting the world around it while simultaneously rejecting it, creating its own reality. Step inside, and the world changes. The door closes with that vault-like solidity, that unmistakable Rolls-Royce thunk that tells you you've just entered a different realm entirely. The silence is immediate, absolute, almost supernatural. This is what 300 kilograms of sound insulation achieves. You're not just separated from the outside world, you're transported beyond it. The Starlight headliner above you contains thousands of individually placed fiber optic lights, creating a personal constellation that can be customized to replicate the night sky from any moment in your life, any place on Earth, any memory you wish to immortalize. It's not a ceiling, it's a canvas, and you're the artist. The dashboard before you is dominated by the Rolls-Royce spirit, a digital gallery that houses all your controls within a seamless, elegant interface. But what makes it remarkable is what it doesn't do. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't assault you with information you don't need. It simply waits, ready to serve, ready to respond, but never intrusive. The leather surrounding you is hand-selected from bulls raised in regions free from barbed wire and branding, ensuring every surface is flawless. Run your fingers across it and you'll feel the difference between mass production and masterpiece. The wood veneers are sourced from a single tree, ensuring perfect grain matching throughout the cabin. Some of these trees have been reserved by Rolls-Royce for years, waiting for the right moment, the right car, the right owner. The seats are not merely seats. They're thrones, command centers, sanctuaries of comfort that adapt to your body, your preferences, your mood. 20-way adjustability, heating, cooling, massage functions that range from gentle to therapeutic. The rear seats recline to an angle that transforms every journey into first-class travel. And throughout the cabin, the Bespoke audio system produces sound so pure, so crystalline, that listening to music becomes a spiritual experience. 18 speakers, strategically positioned throughout the cabin, create a three-dimensional soundscape that doesn't just play music. It reconstructs it, bringing every instrument, every note, every breath of the vocalist into sharp, emotional focus. Press the accelerator, and 664 horsepower responds instantly, silently, relentlessly. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour arrives in just 4.5 seconds. A number that seems impossible for a vehicle weighing 2,900 kilograms. But this isn't about numbers on a spec sheet. This is about the sensation, the feeling of being propelled forward by an invisible force. Smooth as silk, powerful as thunder, but delivered with the refinement that only Rolls-Royce can achieve. The all-wheel drive system, the all-wheel steering, the planar suspension system that reads the road ahead using cameras and adjusts accordingly. All of it works in perfect harmony to create something automotive engineers call magic carpet ride. You don't drive over imperfections, you simply glide above them. Suspended in that perfect space between earth and air, the battery pack. A 102 kilowatt-hour unit provides over 500 kilometers of range. But more importantly, it provides freedom. Freedom from compromise, freedom from anxiety, freedom from the constant mental mathematics that plague lesser electric vehicles. And when you do need to charge, the Spectre accepts high-speed charging that can replenish the battery in less time than it takes to enjoy a proper meal. But the real genius is in how Rolls-Royce has integrated this technology without letting it define the experience. This isn't an electric car that happens to be a Rolls-Royce. This is a Rolls-Royce that happens to be electric. And that distinction matters more than any specification ever could. Out on the open road, the Spectre reveals its true character. It's not trying to be sporty. It's not pretending to be something it's not. It's confident in its own identity, secure in its own purpose. It moves with authority, with presence, with a kind of serene power that turns heads not through aggression, but through sheer magnetism. People don't just see the Spectre, they feel it. They sense it, they're drawn to it. And inside, you're cocooned in that magnificent silence. Watching the world pass by through enormous windows that frame the landscape like moving paintings, feeling the road disappear beneath you. Experiencing not transportation, but transformation. This is what happens when a company founded on the principle of creating the best car in the world decides to reimagine that principle for a new era. The Spectre isn't competing with other electric vehicles. It exists in a category of one, a space it created, a standard it defines. It proves that electrification doesn't mean sacrificing luxury. It means enhancing it, elevating it, perfecting it. Every element, every detail, every decision made during the creation of this automobile was guided by one question. Is this good enough for a Rolls-Royce? And if the answer was anything less than absolutely, then it was rethought, redesigned, reimagined until it met that impossible standard. The future was always going to arrive. The question was never if, but how. Would it come with compromise, with concession, with the gradual erosion of everything that made motoring special? Or would it come like this, with grace, with beauty, with a machine that proves progress and perfection can coexist? The Rolls-Royce Spectre is your answer. It's the automotive equivalent of witnessing dawn break over a landscape you thought you knew, only to realize you're seeing it clearly for the very first time. This isn't just the future of Rolls-Royce. This is the future of what an automobile can aspire to become. Silent, powerful, electric, eternal.